What's good, everyone? I'm joined by a very special guest, Truth. This is his first time on the channel. If you've been through for some of the streams, he appears a lot in there. I think 2 or 3 streams. But yeah, say what's up.
Subscribe to me. I'm better than Troy.
False statement. First thing he says. But anyway, his stuff's gonna be in the link in the description. Go check him out. Makes Naruto content, of course, very similar to mine. He mostly does part 1, so if you're looking for like the early Naruto stage content, go check him out. Really good. But we're going to be going into who is the strongest Kage, or Hokage specifically. Now, we're only going to be going based on when they were elected, so no like teen Naruto or Kakashi with a Sharingan. This is adult Naruto, Kakashi post Sharingan, prime heroes as people like to say, and the rest just their live counterparts. Starting the list, I doubt anyone will have an issue with this part. It's Tsunade.
Yeah.
Do you wanna dive into that, Truth?
Yeah. By the time this video is posted, I should have my Tsunade video up. Go look at that if you want more in-depth scaling for Tsunade. But while she is, she's impressive. She is nothing to scoff at, obviously. The Sannin as a whole are nothing to scoff at. They're always held to be above normal, shinobi and just strong characters in general. While she stacks up pretty well against normal people, it comes to people like Minato, Kakashi, and Naruto. She's not gonna rank very high. Even though she is a Sannin, a main character at that, she doesn't show that much because in the narrative of part 2, where most of the strong characters come in, she takes the role of just giving out paperwork, or doing paperwork, and giving out missions to other people. So she doesn't really have a chance to show her power. That's why she ranks this low.
Yeah. To also kind of get into what Truth was saying on that part 2 stuff, we see specifically during the Pain arc, she really can't do anything against Pain. Naruto has to kind of come in along with all the Toad Sages and kind of body Pain. This is also further like stressed upon when we see her relationship with the Raikage. Her and the Raikage are kind of comparable. She might be a bit stronger, he might be a bit faster, but the Raikage was already getting beat and kind of held to a standstill by Jonin Minato. So a much weaker Minato than when he finally became Hokage and was able to fight Obito and the Nine Tails. The Raikage was more or less around those levels, which granted he was a lot younger, but even when he's fighting Naruto, it's still said that he's still kind of inferior to these levels of speed that Minato portrayed even back then.
Just to add on to that a little bit, it comes to the Raikage speed and how much he improved from Jonin to Hokage. Can say he improved to Jonin Minato's level from before being below it. You just couldn't say that he got any faster than that due to the fact that he's just very cocky in nature. And he already thought he was the fastest shinobi after reaching, Minato's level of speed.
Yeah, so that's the number 7 spot. No surprises there. Tsunade's pretty weak. Sorry. In the number 6 spot, this may surprise people. I know he has like a pretty heated cult fan base, but this is Tobirama. While he has created jutsus like the Edo Tensei and Shadow Clone Jutsu, most of his hype and lore, even around his speeds, are just the baseline. Other people acquired these jutsus and made it better. Naruto got the Shadow Clone Jutsu, or multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, and made it better. Orochimaru got the Edo Tensei and made it better. Minato got the Flying Raijin and made it way better.
Perfect. He made it perfect.
Yeah, he
literally
perfected this. While Tobirama has all of these great feat, lore, he's like a genius or whatever, he never perfected any of these. He more or less just got the basics and other people built upon that.
The main hype for Tobirama that I see is in the war, whenever he's in Edo. It's his Jubito feats and what Madara says about him and him and Hashirama. Madara says he was the fastest. He boasted the fastest speed in the old days. And the problem with this statement is that it's heavily interpret dependent. It can be interpreted as, olden days being the days where he was selected as Hokage, rather than when Tobirama or Madara and Hashirama were actually fighting and alive and whatnot. Because you can say narratively it doesn't really make sense for Tobirama's speed to be at that level, excluding Flying Raijin. Or else, Madara would have just been getting like tag teamed by him and Hashirama, and it would have been over like that. Yeah. They would need for all the extra.
So another thing people like to bring up for Tobirama that I wanted to address here is his tandem paper bombs. This is when he makes a bunch of shadow clones or paper bombs and they keep continuously exploding. What people don't understand about this jutsu is it kind of would kill him. It's like a suicidal jutsu. He can't use it unless he's an Edo Tensei. I believe in a data book it's also stated he needs like a dead body or a corpse to do it, right?
Yeah. While it does have very high AP, I'm not denying that. he wouldn't be able to use it in the form we're using since he would be alive, and we don't know that he just has dead corpses sitting around, waiting for him to battle.
Like if he's fighting like Minato or something, he's not just gonna run away, go find a corpse, come back, then use the jutsu. That's not that really doesn't make sense. So unless you want him committing suicide, he's gonna stay at number 6. But he is really cool. I will give him that. Now number 5, this one might cause controversy. Because this one isn't to say he's weak, he's just kind of not comparable to everyone else. This is Hokage Minato. Now, we just want to preface, we aren't taking into account his Kurama mode or KCM, where he has like half of the Nine Tails that he fought Jubito with, because he did not have access to that at the time he was elected as Hokage. So keep that in mind. Truth, would you like to start with Minato?
Yeah, I can start with Minato. Like we said before, Minato is just a better version of Tobirama. He took his jutsu and just put it to its peak and perfected it. And he's just faster than Tobirama. That's said outright by Tobirama himself. Itzo has a lot of feats in his KCM mode, but we can't use those since he doesn't have those when he's elected. Yeah, his actual feat comes from his fight with Obito, where he is getting kind of, contested by Obito, but he ends up winning the fight with Rasengan and just completely destroying Obito's arm. He does this pretty easily. I say maybe mid difficulty. This Obito is held to be, stronger than Pain by Minato. He's talking to Naruto. He says he's a bigger threat than Pain. While this can be talking about, in the scheme of things, because Obito is kind of like the mastermind behind everything, he specifically highlights that how Obito was fighting him and how he saw through all of his attacks and whatnot. So that's why I don't think it's specifically talking about, his mind or whatever, or like just his mind. It's talking about power as well. Have anything to say?
To kind of add on to what Truth was saying, in the data books it said that Rasen Shuriken that Naruto used surpassed Minato, or it has strength equal to Minato. Now, I'm not here to say Naruto while fighting Kakuzu is like as strong as Minato. That kind of shows that like that specific Rasen Shuriken is kind of where his power, I guess, meets its end, and that's like as far as Minato.
To add on to that, we're not even like downplaying Minato with this statement, because the Rasen Shuriken literally cuts through your cells and your chakra network. So it's not like something like downplay or anything at all, because this is basically saying, if you take this as it's just saying comparing raw power to raw power, or Minato's Rasengan does as much as a Rasen Shuriken that cuts through cells. That's pretty crazy in itself.
Yeah, so again, while these feats may not be what you were looking for, you're probably looking for some shit like scaling to Jubito or something, they still are very impressive, and still put them at the number 4 spot, or number 5 spot, I'm sorry. Next up, this one's gonna be a big shocker. We have Kakashi. Now, I know people...
Kakashi over Minato.
Yeah, Kakashi over Minato, comments ain't coming like we're stupid or whatever, but a lot of people think because he lost the Sharingan, he's like vastly weaker and he can never live up to that potential. But in the novels, it's actually stated that he is stronger than when he fought Obito and Madara. And what I think this is due to all the chakra that he would use to keep the Sharingan active and not, pass out from fatigue is now incorporated within his jutsu and body.
And in the war, he was doing pretty crazy stuff. Like whenever Obito is about to get controlled by Black Zetsu and whatever, Kakashi is able to react to Obito at similar time frame to Minato. It's an insane feat, by the way. It's a heavily fatigued Kakashi, and I guess you could say Minato was fatigued as well. That just being said, it's just pretty crazy for someone in that level to be able to react at that time frame.
And to further kind of add on to why he got stronger, in the Boruto era, he is able to do battle with one of the inner members of Kara, Kashin Koji. Of course, Kashin Koji isn't going all out because he's not in Sage mode. He's probably just doing enough to get the data that he needs to. He has to run away from Kakashi because he says he's not going to be able to deal with Kakashi. Now, this could be because they're in the Leaf Village and like maybe Sasuke and Naruto help, but Kakashi is able to do battle with him alone and react and push him away for a little bit before Kashin Koji has to retreat. And
just for a little bit of wink, it's never a video unless there's kind of a troll in it. So in the one of the Boru Karas, they say that the Kara inner members are projected to be on the level of Naruto as a Hokage. If you want to have fun with that statement.
Now, of course, it's not to say they're each equal. It just means they have their advantages, whether that be hacks, regeneration, or something like that. Just puts them around the same level as Naruto. Not saying they can hit as hard or move as fast. It's just whatever plus they have puts them on that level. Number 3, we have Hiruzen. Now, Hiruzen, at the time he became Hokage, should have been in his fabled prime. I know y'all know of the statements him being above like Hashirama and Tobirama in his prime.
Yes.
So, as we know, no one on the list thus far holds a candle to Hashirama. Hiruzen being above this is base Hashirama, by the way, kinda just puts his attacking power on a whole nother level. Tobirama could never catch up to him. Minato could never catch up to him. Tsunade, stated by Madara, everything is inferior. Her healing and fucking taijutsu, nothing holds a candle to Hashirama ever. Hiruzen was able to surpass this level within his prime, along with knowing all 4 chakra natures and knowing the most of the jutsu in the leaf.
He knows the hidden jutsu, like shadow possession and whatnot. He's pretty cracked.
While having all of these attacks and having power above base Hashirama, I think that's all that's pretty much needed to put him above the likes of number 4, 5, 6, and 7, especially Tsunade. He's just objectively above Tsunade. Number 2, we have Hashirama. I know what you're gonna say. Didn't you just say Hiruzen's above Hashirama? Yes, that was base Hashirama. As we know, Hashirama has Sage Mode. Truth, you want to get into that?
Yeah, I'll just preface this by saying the reason that it's only base Hashirama that Hiruzen is compared to, all we know, is because the statements of Hiruzen being stronger than Hashirama are only ever made in part 1, and Sage Mode just isn't introduced, or you can't even like show it's a concept in part 1 whatsoever. So it's that reason. And Hashirama in Sage Mode has immense power. He's able to do battle with the Nine Tails and Madara at the same time with the perfect Susanoo. He's just like okay, I'll put it on a stepping stone for you. Hiruzen is like god of part 1. And then we learn about Madara and Hashirama. We learn about Sage Mode, and we see that these characters are compared to fixed fairy tales. Like, they don't even believe they existed for one period of time. Like, they compare them to the Sage's Six Paths of how like able they are. It's not even like a good level of comparison. Like, put them on the level of Hiruzen in Sage Mode.
To kind of go more in depth on how he scaled to Madara. Madara with the full Nine Tails. You know how Naruto with just half of it was able to like slap all of the tailed beasts at the same time? Madara with the full thing wrapped in the Susanoo, which is comparable to the Nine Tails already, got fucked by Hashirama. Hashirama quite literally peeled off the Susanoo and grabbed the Nine Tails within his hand while pummeling it. Now, I'm not saying he's way above Madara, because of course they almost stalemated. Like, it's kind of could have went either way. But no one on this list thus far has demonstrated the power to go against the full Nine Tails head to head along with Madara alone. Sage Mode Hashirama is just a completely different ballpark. He is not called the God of Shinobi for nothing. He would probably 1v5 all of these niggas and still win.
To add one more thing, while Hashirama and Madara are stated to be equal in their final Valley fight, we do know that Hashirama, survives this fight and goes on and continues living, dies later on. There's actually arguments to be made. Hashirama got stronger after fighting Madara. It's based on basically Tsunade says that all the Hokage died in vain for the village, which implies, they died in combat or whatnot, and that Hashirama continued fighting after Madara fight. Because obviously, combat didn't just stop because Madara died. They were still evil ninja and whatnot. Even though they don't have to be strong ninja he was fighting, still would give him an amp, since we know fighting does make you stronger to some degree in Naruto.
But if you don't take that argument, not getting stronger, he would still be comfortably above everyone else previously mentioned on this list. Now we have the most obvious placement, Naruto. Naruto has fought Kaguya and Momoshiki, Kaguya being a being that can casually obliterate and remake time spaces, and Momoshiki being another person who can rival Kaguya and also create dimensions at will. Naruto, without even transforming, probably with one hand, would destroy every single other person at the same time. Think about it like this: if everyone previously mentioned on this list got all of their chakra, condensed it into like a Rasengan, Naruto in base would be able to clash his Rasengan and win. That is how much more powerful Naruto and Boruto is.
It's a pretty insane gap. You didn't even mention Toneri, who's like an above Kaguya level threat, according to some of the advertisements for the movie. That would just put him, even more leagues above everyone else.
Yeah, and not even to count how he can make 2,000 other clones of himself. So maybe he'll just make 5 other clones and just punch to death every single other Kage. It doesn't even have to be a 1v6. He can easily make as many clones as he wants. With that being said, that has been the video. I think our Hokage ranking is pretty solid. If you have any gripes, put them in a comment. Maybe me and Truth will address them and probably debate us a little bit, whatever. But check out Truth's channel, Tsunade video, for more context on the Tsunade placement. Yeah, goodbye.